everybody. It is Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den. And it's a new year, and I think it's a great time to go back to the basics. And to me, a big part of it is how do you convert your leads? I think it's so important. The other day, I had a conversation with one of my clients, and, I always ask, how's it going? What are you pleased with? And she said to me, well, this went well, but here's where I'm really struggling with. She said, I'm not getting the results that I want. I said, okay, well, let's talk about that a little. So I asked her this question. How many people did you talk to? And then there was crickets, what I'm saying there. And she said, well, I talked to 2 people. I said, oh, and how many people said yes? She said 2. And I went, wow, to me, you're batting 1,000. I mean, that's tremendous. That's awesome. Just imagine if you would have talked to more people. Now, we all know that you don't always bat 1,000, but the real key here is that if you want more sales, you want more team members, whatever your business is, you not only have to talk to more people, but you've got to find a way to be able to convert them. Okay, so, you could go through a whole kinds of things, but if you're not talking to enough people, it does not matter. So, but let's start here. When I ask people, how many leads do you have? They'll give me a number. When I ask them how many prospects that they have, oftentimes they'll be the same number. But there is a difference. A lead and a prospect are 2 different things. They're 2 different things. Now, it all starts with a lead. A lead really and truly is just a name. It might come from a referral. Maybe they were on your website, whatever the case may be. But regardless, they have not been qualified. They're just a name. So what you are looking for are prospects. First you have to have the leads, then you get them to become a prospect. But a prospect is what you want because a prospect is actually interested in your product. They're interested in your earning opportunity. And the only way that you're going to find out if they're a prospect is you have to qualify them, AKA you have to talk to them. You have to find out if they have the problem that you can solve, whether that be from an earning standpoint or a product standpoint. And here's what people don't like to do. When I ask them, what's the least favorite part of your business? They say, I hate prospecting. Well, I'm just going to tell you this. Without leads and without prospects, you have no business. So when you get better at it, it's amazing how much more fun prospecting is. See, you have to constantly be filling that pipeline. If you want to have enough prospects, it's not just, I'm going to do this once a month at a big event. No, it is a daily method of operation. You need to be filling it constantly. Now, I'm not going to talk today about the power of 3, but the power of 3 is powerful. So you have to constantly be filling that lead pipeline if you want to have a pipeline of prospects. So leads to prospects. It's a continuum. So here's a mistake that you don't want to make. I will tell you too often, this is what I see. Network marketers or people in any business for that matter, spend time with the same people. They've got a prospect, somebody that's expressed some interest, and they keep, lack of a better way of putting it, bugging them, just going on and on and on. Oh, I know they're going to say yes, or they really express interest, or they want to do it later, whatever. So they keep working on the same person. And why do they do that? Because they don't have enough prospects in their pipeline. So if you have enough prospects in your pipeline, you don't have to keep harping on the same people. So you've got to keep filling that pipeline with leads and then prospects. In the meantime, when you do that, when you stay focused on somebody, what's going to happen is your next hot prospect, superstar, great customer is passing you by. So you kind of have to balance both. So here's the thing. Once you've determined that you have a prospect, you can really go to work. Imagine if you had enough prospects, you had enough leads, enough prospects, that if somebody says no, you can move on because you've got somebody to talk to. That's where you want to be in your business. So now you have these prospects. One of the questions I ask anybody that I work with, and I most of the time I don't get an answer, I'll tell you this, is I ask them, what's your conversion rate? And I kind of get the deer in the headlights look, if you will. You have to have enough leads to know your true number, but most people don't know what their conversion rate. In other words, how many prospects do you have to talk to get somebody to say yes? Is it 1 in 50? Is it 1 in 10? Is it 1 in 5? What is the number? If you don't know that number, it's going to be pretty tough for you to achieve your goals and dreams, because you might be doing the right stuff. Maybe you're not doing enough of it. And know this, that everybody's number is different. The longer you're at this, the more you practice it, you're going to find that you have to talk to less people each time to get that yes. And like I said, everybody's number is different. So when I ask that question and people don't know, this is what I have determined. And as we do some more talking, they don't know their conversion rate because, quite frankly, they just haven't talked to enough people to know it. So what you need to do, first of all, know your conversion rate. You got to track it for a couple of weeks at minimum. And you have to be intentional, making sure that you're talking to enough people to actually get a true number. In other words, you can't have your conversion rate if over the course of 2 weeks you've talked to 5 people. That's not going to give you enough. So start by talking to enough people, and then, it doesn't have to be fancy. I just literally do the number of ticks, and I just track it that way. But you have to know your conversion rate. Once you know your conversion rate, it becomes very obvious. The reason why you're not hitting your numbers, whether it be product sales or adding people to your team, is that, quite frankly, you just have not talked to enough people. Let me give you an example. If you would like to add 2 more people to your team, okay, and you've talked to 3 people or done 3 presentations in a perfect world, is it any wonder why you haven't gotten 3 or 2 out of the 3? That's just an incredible number. So, if you take the 1 in 10, and I will tell you, the more experience you get, it'll be 1 in 5, 1 in 3, whatever. But if it's 1 in 10 and you know your conversion rate and you want 2, you do the math, you got to talk to 20 people. You got to do 20 presentations. Okay. So it's not that you're doing the wrong thing. Maybe you're not saying the right thing, but that comes with time and with coaching and development. But you're just plain and simple not talking to enough people. You're doing the right stuff. You're just not doing enough of it. So once you know the conversion rate and once you have enough prospects to talk about, you can move that needle and not have to talk to as many people to get the results you desire. Imagine, instead of having 1 in 10, what if it was 2 in 10, 3 in 10, 5 in 10? Because I'll tell you this, if you get people to sit down and you can do a quick presentation, a sit, if you will, whether you're in insurance or network marketing, it does not matter. Chances are you are going to probably close them. Maybe not right away, but down the road. So, your conversion rate. How can you convert more? Well, I think you know what I'm going to say. You got to follow up. Fortune's in the follow-up. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can follow up, and you don't want to be bugging people, but you've got to follow up. Follow up with a good reason. It depends on where you read it. I've always heard it this way, that it's anywhere between 60 and 80% of the people that say yes to whatever it is, earnings or product, it takes 4 no's before somebody says yes. And here's the problem. Most people quit after 1 no. So, but you have to know, if they're not interested, you just have to move on. But when somebody says, no, I don't want it, you move on, but you've got to be persistent. Persistence will beat resistance every time. So you have to continue to follow up. If they're totally ignoring you after 4 or 5 times, then you move on, but maybe you switch it up a little bit. Here's the thing. When you're persistent, you're going to have a lot more success. But just remember, 5 times, 4 to 5 times before most people will say yes. And if you're reaching out to people with a good reason, if you're talking to them about an additional benefit, did you know this? You're always going to be successful. But quite frankly, if they're not interested, move on. They are no longer a prospect. And you are following up with prospects. So another way that you can increase your conversion rate is to stop selling. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm in sales. No, you don't sell. What you do is you start telling stories, because you see, stories will help you to close the sale. People don't want to be sold. But if you say to somebody, have you got time can I tell you a quick story? Can I tell you a quick story? People will almost always say yes. There's a lot of benefits to stories. One of which is, of course, people will say yes to hear a story. People are curious. The other thing that happens is that they remember stories. Now, it could be about the product. I know somebody that used to have arthritis and now they are doing this. See, it can be your story or it could be somebody else's. If you're brand new, maybe you don't have a story of your own, but borrow other people's stories. You should have an arsenal of these because everybody's got a little different situation. So have an arsenal and borrow other people's stories. Especially when you're brand new, you don't have a lot of your own stories, but you can borrow other stories. So tell stories. That will help you to convert folks. Another thing that's important is you should be talking about pain points. I always say, make them feel the pain. An example could be, and I don't mean this literally, but I guess this is it, maybe the person you're talking with has stiffness and soreness, bad joints, whatever that. So you could say something like this. Now, you shared with me that you have stiff joints. I mean, you can almost feel and go, oh, yeah, I really do have stiff joints. Is that right? Yeah, I do. Okay. Is there anything else that is troubling you? If you can help them to solve their pain points and make them feel that pain, sometimes literally and figuratively, maybe, do you have enough money to pay all of your bills, or do you run out of money before the month ends? Okay. If they have that pain point, if they feel that pain, they're more likely to say yes, or at the very least, learn a little bit more from you. So go after the pain point. You also need to know, what are your clients' goals? What are your potential team members' goals? If a team member says, I want to be able to, a potential team member, I really want to be able to retire and travel and that type of thing, know that and continue to weave that through your entire presentation or as you're talking. They want that outcome. They told you that they want that outcome. So if you can help them to achieve that goal, you're that much farther ahead. But you got to know their goals first. This is one of my favorites. I saw many, many people have tons of success, and that is doing a free home trial. Well, why don't you just try it out for a week? See how you like it. Now, depending on what your company is, what your product is, I mean, most companies have a money back guarantee. Why don't you take it home? Why don't you try it? See if it makes you feel better. Give it a couple of weeks. There are some products that take a little bit longer. It's not instant, and see how you like it. If it's a earning opportunity, why don't you try it? Work alongside me. See how you like it. See how it's working for you. Now, if they have to make a large investment, maybe what you do is say, let's just do this together. I'll guide you. See how you like it for 2 weeks. See what you think about it. Okay, I will tell you, free home trials are golden. Another way to put it is we call it the puppy dog close. So what does that mean? You get a puppy. You're going to see if you like the puppy. You have that puppy for a weekend. There's no way you're giving it back. I will tell you that this method works. I have seen results. I think about it with product results. My goodness, 80-90% conversion. Imagine that. Getting somebody to try it out, no obligation on their part. They're just afraid to take that first step. So if you take away the fear and the obligation, it's golden. You have them. That is a phenomenal conversion tool that you'll want to use, a free home trial. Sometimes people just need to be pushed. They don't know what to do. So what you can do is you can tell them, this is what you should do. I know you've got a lot of interest. What you should do is give it a try. Let's put you on the team. Give it a try for 3 months. See how you like it. The worst that can happen is you say, no, I don't want to do this. Okay. So tell them what they should do. You really should take advantage of this special offer, of this special price, because I've never seen it this low. And I know you want to get rid of that pain that you have. Okay. So sometimes people just need to be told what to do. I know myself, I will often ask, what should I do next? What is next? Not everybody's going to say that to you. So tell them what is next. Tell them what they should do. That's going to help you to increase your conversion rate. So again, there's a lot of different things that you can do, but at the end of the day, the only way you're going to increase your conversion rate is that if you have enough leads to get the prospects that are interested. Now, that's a whole nother subject. How do I generate leads? There's a lot of things that you can do. They don't have to be through funnels. It's a lot of grassroots. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But so you've got to have the leads to get the prospects. And remember, prospects have to have the problem that you can solve. And if you don't know what problems that you can solve, you know what? That's a great place for you to start. Think about all the benefits of what you offer, whether it be in your earning opportunity or whether it be in your products. Very, very important to know what product that you sell. And here's the best part about focusing on your conversion rate. It doesn't have to take a lot. It's just a really small uptick. I mean, if you go from 1 to 2, you have doubled your business. And of course, you've got to know what to say and when to say it and who to say it. But when you can get that conversion rate, just even instead of 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, or you go to 1 out of 5, I will tell you it is a total game changer. You're not working more. You're not working harder. You're just getting better results, but know your conversion rate. So fill that pipeline and you can fill your bank account, but it all starts with that pipeline. And here's the best part. At the Network Marketers Den, we have a method that I teach. I've worked with it for years and years and with incredible success. you can do all of it in as little as 15 minutes a day when you know how to do it. So until next time, this is Janet Metzger with the Network Marketers Den, and here's to you converting your leads to prospects, to consumers, and to new team members. Here's to your success. This is Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den. Take care.